What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. It is a late one today, and there's a reason for that, as we're in the third round of the Carabao Cup. So we'll be doing a live reaction to the draw. But before that, there is a lot of news. As always, we'll be keeping you up to date with all the latest that's gone on today. If you do enjoy the stream, please hit the like button, subscribe to Normal Sound Future Palace content, and most importantly, get involved in the comment section down below, or in the live comment section if you're watching it live, of course. Patrick, crazy 24 hours. I mean, Palace won, but apart from that, there's a lot to get through today. When I sent you that list, your honest reactions.
I was like, good, because you love rumors and stuff.
I don't. No. Okay, I like talking about Palace, but literally today there was just too much. There's too much to get through, and we have to get through them as quickly as possible, as well as discussing them before the draw starts. And as you can see from the title, there is breaking news today that Lacroix deal has been agreed. Let's start off with that, people. Positive news. It started off. Yep.
It's not Lacroix. It's
Lacroix. See, that's what I'm saying. My head's all over the place. Lacroix. Lacroix deal has been agreed. It started off with Ryan Taylor Sport. Crystal Palace are closing in on a deal to sign Wolfsburg defender Lacroix, worth 21 million euros. Initial 18 million euros plus 3 million in bonuses. Already an agreement in principle on personal terms. Fabrizio Romano has followed that up by saying that Palace and Wolfsburg have agreed on a deal for Lacroix, as club to club is all done. And Pletigo, who's meant to be very reliable over in Europe, saying that Lacroix always wanted to join Crystal Palace. Personal terms agreed days ago. Patrick, perfect timing was my reaction when I saw this earlier on today. Due to the fact that we brought in Nketiah, let's bring in a defender. Not only because of the Riyadh injury, but we have to replace Anderson. And this is the defender that I've wanted. 24, got pace, over 100 Bundesliga appearances. Perfect. I think this is a masterclass from Dougie and Oliver Glasner for around £15 million initial price that's involved. For you, how are you feeling about the finances and the player to replace Anderson?
I like it all the way around. Watched him play at Wolfsburg. Obviously, since we were linked with him, I've done a lot of research on him. He's a very good player, and more importantly, he knows Glasner, knows Glasner's system. Not really familiar with playing with the back three, but he can play in the back two. But you're right, he's a good tackler. Loves to drop into the midfield. Good in the air. Good passer. Progressive. Age is perfect. No, there's nothing not to like about it. I mean, honestly, and I made the comment before about I want to make sure we get players in that that the manager wants. Glasner. There's no doubt about this. This is a Glasner player, and you mentioned before, I think at some previous stream, or whatever, that previously he was linked with teams like Arsenal and Liverpool. He's always linked with some top clubs when he was like 20 years old. He's played over 100 games already in Europe, in European leagues, and in Germany and stuff like that. Played in Europe. I mean, no, I love this. And again, the timing is perfect. Unfortunately, Riyadh might be out for a while, but more importantly, we had to replace Anderson. And for me, you couldn't pick a better person because he can ping those balls. If you love pinging the ball, he can do the same thing Anderson did. So that's great. Yeah.
Not only that, the one area which I think we'll see the benefit of Lacroix is his pace in the back three, which I think is important, and Anderson has lacked that. But most importantly, his aerial ability. In corners, we have struggled, and he's a player where in corners you can use him, and he has that is one strength of his game. So all of this for around £15 million. When you look at the price, you might think, hold up, that's a bit cheap. What's going on there? Is the player's hype even worth it? The reason for that is because his contract he's only got a year left on his deal, and he's not willing to sign another deal, and we're coming towards the end of the window. That is the reason why we're getting it for cheap.
Yeah.
As Patrick has mentioned, I've spoke about him being linked to the likes of Arsenal when he was at a young age. Who was the manager? Who got the best out of him? Oliver Glasner. So this report suggesting that Crystal Palace has always been his first choice. I'm not surprised about that, because it's a reunion for him, still at a very young age, with his previous manager and Glasner, which he got a great personal experience, and he got the best out of him as well. So I'm very excited. Personal terms are agreed. Now it's all about the medical. So only time will tell in terms of, when that medical will be sorted. But you would think so tomorrow. So this should be all hopefully wrapped up before deadline day. We actually recorded a match preview, which will be out tomorrow at 5 p.m., depending on when you're watching this. And make sure to check that out, because we asked a question: do we change the system for some of these new signings, including Nketiah? We spoke about that. By the way, people, we will be reacting to the draw live. That's why we're going to go through the news as quickly as possible. Then hopefully we can talk with the chat a bit more, because there is a lot to get through before the draw, which I want to go through. Then afterwards we can relax a bit whilst watching the draw. The next update was on from Fabrizio Romano on Eddie Nketiah. We've known that he's been doing his medical at Palace, but according to him, today he's completed the second part of the medical test at Crystal Palace. So I mean, that should realistically get announced tomorrow. I won't be surprised if it's all sealed off. I mean, we've had it here we go already, and medical test second part completed. So yeah, I won't be surprised if that gets announced tomorrow. But that's a positive update. And Nketiah, as we know, is coming through the door for around £30 million total package. However, we've got an outgoing medical, according to Sammy Mokbel. Sam Johnstone is undergoing his medical ahead of completing a £10 million move to Wolves. And we'll stop there before we talk about replacement. But Patrick, he didn't start yesterday, which I think was quite telling, especially in a cup game where you expect him to start. £10 million. It seems like he's done his medical today. So we'll see the announcement most likely in the next few days or so. But for you, Sam Johnstone, there was a lot of debates between him and Hendo about who's better or not. But 10 million to Wolves, do you think that's smart business by the club at this stage of the window?
If you get replacement, so we got him on a free, so it's pure profit of 10 million, which is fantastic. I've actually never cared who starts over Henderson, Johnstone. I think they were good in some ways, had their faults in other ways. I think that Henderson's better in Glasner's system because he wants to play out the back. I think he's a little better with his feet than Johnstone. I remember you and I had a debate at one point about. I remember when Johnstone first signed, we argued about whether Johnstone was any good with his feet, which is a very strange conversation. Remember that? You told me how good he was.
We spoke about memory. I don't remember the Vieira face Norwich game. But what did I say? What did I say? Allegedly?
No, you said that. I said he wasn't good with his feet. You insisted that he was, and that's when he came. But anyway. It's not important today. No, I think it's good business. I think it's a good. Again, my only issue is getting a replacement. I would have been very happy with having them both stick around and fight it out. And if one gets injured or one falls out of form, play the other one, because to me they're pretty much equal. But I get Johnstone wants to play. I don't know why he's going to Wolves though, because they got Neto, but whatever, that's his problem. Or not Neto, Saar. And two, he wants to get an England squad, but he's not gonna get an England squad ahead of Ramsdale and Jordan Pickford, but he'll be the number 3 goalie. Anyway, he wants to play, so I got no issue with it. My only issue again is the timing. We've got now 2 days, a day and a half left to get a replacement. You gonna mention the link or that we have? We have a link to.
Yeah, so I can get onto that now. But quickly, people, if you're enjoying the stream, there's nearly 200 of you here. Please hit the like button. Let's try to get to 100 likes before the draw. Thank you to every single one of you that's already done that. And in terms of my opinion on Sam Johnstone, £10 million, good business. I said it for months. You're never going to have 2 number 1s at the football club. Aaron Ramsdale, for example, I think he's going to Southampton now. It just doesn't work out like other positions. And the number 2, which I'm going to talk about now in terms of the potential replacement, I'm not as bothered about. I think there needs to be a clear number 2. Whatever signing we make, whether this link is true or not, it will be a downgrade on Sam Johnstone. And that is normal, in my opinion. That's going to be a normal downgrade because that is the main reason why we're selling Sam Johnstone. And hopefully we should have a bit more money to spend after getting that £10 million for Johnstone. And according to Alan Nixon, the replacement could be Bournemouth backup goalie Mark Travers, who was actually on the bench today in their loss against West Ham. He has said the following. He said that Forest have inquired about the Bournemouth keeper, Neto, so the first choice keeper. But that is holding up the exit of another keeper, Mark Travers, who's also wanted by Palace. For you, look, I'm not going to ask you who's your preferred second choice goalie, because I think that's a crazy question. I don't know. Maybe you take seriously about second choice goalies. But how much money would you realistically like us spending on a second choice goalie?
Couple of million. If Johnstone went for 10 and he was a first choice keeper, He was in England squad until he got injured. I can't spend more than 4 or 5 for a backup keeper, and that might even be a lot. Because the funny thing is, like our last few goalkeepers that we've got, Henderson paid a lot of money for, 15, whatever. Johnstone was a free. Guehi was a free. Butland, wasn't Butland a free? Or did we pay for Butland? I don't remember if we even played for Jack Butland. Do you know what I mean? I don't remember us paying for a keeper in a very long time. I think the only keeper I remember paying for was Henderson. So I have no issue. Huh?
Mandanda, do we pay for him?
Oh, we did pay for No, Mandanda was a free when he came from France.
There was a bit fishy going on there because he went back to his initial club as well.
After one playing one game. Yeah, so I don't want to play a lot, but like you just said, it needs to be a definitive number 2, but capable D. I don't want a number 2 that's rubbish, because then you're back to, God forbid, Henderson gets injured, and now you got a number 2 who's not, we don't trust. I'm not saying the guy's got to be great, but you want to trust him. I don't know a lot about Travers. I looked him up very quickly, and he's a decent keeper. To me, he seems like a decent number 2. But let's see. Just going real quickly, we have 2 young keepers out on loan. Owen Goodman,
who well today, one of them. Owen Goodman
did really well today. Wimbledon got them through on penalties, and then we have Joe Whitworth, and they're both in their 20s, early 20s. So my hope is that in a few years, one of those is the number 2, legitimately push up for number 1. And it won't be like a Johnstone, Henderson situation. It's going to be like he's got a young keeper behind him pushing him, as opposed to someone same age, same England spot, etc. So no, just get someone in. My own issue is don't leave it to Friday, when God forbid we don't end up getting someone, because that would be travesty.
You just can't have Remy Matthews as a second choice. That's where my stance is. You just have to bring in like another goalie, which I think we will do anyways. I think it'll be crazy not to, because Henderson's had injuries in the past as well. But yeah, shout out to Joe Whitworth and Goodman. They've been performing well. I've been hearing a lot of good things about them at their club. So yeah, Goodman today was good at a penalty shootout, and they're through to the next round, which will be live reacting to the 3rd round draw. That is the reason why today we're a bit more on it with the news. We have to get through it, and then afterwards we can relax and enjoy the 3rd round draw in peace. However, there's still more big news to get through, and that is on Odsonne Edouard, a club that I've been potentially linking him to, that I think he can fit, is Ipswich Town. And according to Paul Joyce, Ipswich Town have actually contacted Crystal Palace about Edouard, exploring a loan with an obligation to buy. Palace are seeking £20 million for the striker. However, let's continue. There's twists and turns in this report. According to Edmund Brack, Odsonne Edouard will be out of contract at the end of the upcoming season, and Crystal Palace have an option to extend his deal going into the 25-26 season, which me and T debated how would it work to send a player out on loan if his contract runs out in a year with an obligation to buy it. So we do have that option. However, one more twist. According to Alan Nixon, Crystal Palace need Odsonne Edouard to sign a new contract before loaning him out to Ipswich. The bizarre twist is required because Palace are sending Edouard to the Tractor Boys on loan with a view to a £20 million if they stay up. Now, if you're still following everything that I've just said, Patrick and the chat, your thoughts on that? Odsonne Edouard, look, long story short, Edouard is wanted by Ipswich Town, loan with an obligation to buy. He's got a year left on his deal. We can extend his deal by another year. But the only thing that I don't really understand is the last part from Alan Nixon saying that we need him to sign a new contract. Because we've got an option to extend, according to reports. So why do we need him to sign a new contract? But end of the day, loan with an obligation to buy if they do stay up. Sorry, Patrick, what was it saying?
They might be a player option. That's why. I mean, option doesn't have to be on the club side. Might be if it's on the club side, then it wouldn't be an issue because we would just verify.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's got to be a player option. It's got to be him. So he must have to decide. So if I'm Odsonne Edouard, I'm saying sure. Show me the money. You're gonna pay me to sign that contract. That's what's gonna come down to. You have to pay him to sign that contract, and then you're gonna have him go there on loan, and then you're gonna hope that he bangs, goals in, and then 2 they stay up. Because if they don't, it's not gonna get obviously thing. 20 million, by the way, D's a lot of money. That part, the only part I don't get. That's way too much.
No, but look, this is the point. If you're doing a loan with an obligation to buy, you're gonna have to pay more. Kind of like that's a tax. You know, you're doing a loan with an obligation to buy. So that's the advantage that we can use in this scenario. But Patrick, the biggest thing is if they stay up, what happens if they don't stay up? You just went out on loan for a year and that's it. Do we want that? Would you want that?
We want that unless there's a better option out there. And I don't know if another one comes up between now and Friday. Right now, I heard you and T talking about, I've not heard another club. Celtic are not going to get him now because Celtic have gone a different direction. So that's not going to happen. It makes sense for a promoted side. Southampton now don't need a new striker. Obviously, Leicester just got IU. They're not going to buy Edouard also. So is there someone in France maybe that he wants to go back to France? Who knows? But it's a touchy situation. Not touchy. It's a weird situation, but have to get here's the thing, right? With the option, we could still have him come back next season and stay here this season. He doesn't have to go. It's just that with Saar and Nketiah, his playing time is minimized.
Yeah, I guess we get wages. We get wages covered for season. I guess that's positive, exactly. But then we'll see with the contract situation. Just quickly, Saeed is saying this some B-Tech Saliba signing. He fell off, bro. Was the hype in 2019? And who was a manager around that time? Oliver Glasner. So I wouldn't talk too quick, man. I wouldn't talk too quick, especially after what Brian done to you lot. I mean, I saw you. Saeed. I saw you in your live watch along.
Saliba, if he's half a good Saliba, I'll take him. Seriously?
Exactly.
Saliba?
Exactly.
I'll take him. I'll take him.
Because Saliba is better than all the Man United
defenders. Saliba's pretty good. Saliba's pretty good.
So a B-Tech Saliba might not even be that far off. I'll just say that. Just check your mirrors before making comments about our defenders. Just check your mirrors with your own defenders, especially Maguire. You know what I'm talking about in your watch along. But shout out to Saeed anyways. All jokes aside, make sure to check out Saeed.
Shout out. Yeah, definitely.
Done so. Let's move on to the next bit of player before the draw starts. One eye is on the draw, one eye is on the news. This quickly, we're going to go through. Miguel Delaney saying that Crystal Palace and Palace are, in regard to talks with Guehi, is the deal is expected to go to the wire. Palace not budging from £70 million plus valuation. 100% agree. 100% agree that we shouldn't budge with our valuation. And I'll be honest, I think that's done. Guehi's not leaving. It's too late now. I mean, the first report we heard a few days ago, within 48 hours. It's been 48 hours. And in fact, today I saw a report that Newcastle are looking at alternatives. I think a defender in the Bundesliga. So yeah, I think it's staying. I don't think it's going down to the wire. I think the ship has sailed. It's been a joke from Newcastle. I think Newcastle fans should be upset at their own director of football because it's just been pathetic. I mean, who have they signed?
Newcastle's not my problem. It'll go to the wire. I just hope it always stay. It's Palace. It's gonna go down to the wire, but I think he'll stay. Again, to lose Guehi at this point would be a major travesty. It would be. Yeah, we can't lose Guehi now. So from that standpoint, hopefully that ship has sailed. Again, he's our captain. He played great yesterday, and let's just move on. Let them move on to their next target, and let's move on with our rest of our season because it hasn't helped us with our start to our season. That's all I'm going to say on that. So.
Yeah. Let's look at the likes. Before we move on. 105 likes. Thank you. 105 likes. We did hit the like count before the draw started, but there's over nearly 240 of you here. Let's see if we can hit 150 to 200 before we do end the stream. Thank you to every single one of you as always. Really appreciate you. The community here is genuinely great. Even though we don't all agree with each other, we got different opinions. It's just there's always great love shown. So thank you to each and single one of you, even non-Palace fans. There's a lot of non-Palace fans that watch the shows as well. So yeah, really appreciate you all. Even though with Newcastle fans, we've been going like head to head recently. It's all love. Let's talk about replacements. And with defenders, I mean, there's two bits of news that's come out today, and that is on Mike McGrath, who said that Crystal Palace are set to make a late attempt to land Trevor Chalobah ahead of deadline day. With his report, I'm a bit worried. Not because I'm worried for, we're going to actually make a move for Chalobah, but I'm worried about whether I should really believe into it. I mean, he's meant to be a reputable journalist, but he's the one that spouted about, edging closer with Guehi. So it's like, I mean, clearly hasn't been the case because he's been captain inside. So I don't know whether to believe it, but Chalobah only makes sense if we do sell Guehi, which at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. Gary Jacob has said that Lacroix is set to become one of the 2 centre-backs to potentially join before Friday. Palace are considering whether to raise their offers for Thomas Arejo and Trevor Chalobah. With both of those players, Patrick, as you're shaking your head as well, I mean, it doesn't make much sense to sign another defender on top of Lacroix with Riyad being injured. For me, it doesn't really, because I think we've got enough. There's an injury, which is unfortunate, but if Lacroix comes in, I think we're solid in terms of numbers at the back.
Yeah, if you know how we've done things on the glass since he's been here, we've got right now, forget Lacroix for now, based on yesterday, we have Guehi, Richards, and Klein. Ward can go there in a pinch, and so can Lerma. So, and again, we have Rob Holding. Listen, Rob Holding a year ago, and he's hardly played for us. I think unless he's injured again, which is possible, he still is an option. So getting another centre half makes no sense. When Lacroix comes, then you drop down Klein, and you've got Richards, Guehi, and Lacroix. So I'm very comfortable going with that for the foreseeable future. No issues. And then when Riyad's fit, Riyad's a great backup, etc. So another centre half makes no sense. Chalobah can play right back, but not wing back. So he could cover Munoz. I just don't.
Yeah,
that Chalobah thing's weird because there's going to be a Chelsea tax. There'll be an English tax for him. They have to get rid of him, though, but that's their problem, not our problem. They have to get rid of him. No, that's not our problem. So I don't get the Chalobah link. Again, I'm not a fan of it. I said that before. Him and Joe Gomez, good players, very good players. I don't want them at Palace because then we need them, and I don't want to overpay for players because of their previous clubs. I just don't get it.
I'll be honest. I think both of these links are more backup plans for worst case scenario, which I don't think should be happening at this point. If Guehi was to leave, more than anything, I don't really see us signing another centre back. For me, left wing back should be the option after centre back. That should be the area that we're targeting. And let's bring in Lacroix. And then from there, we can look at left wing back and potentially another number 10. We'll see the rumours because we're expecting more business to be done before the window actually closes. The draw hasn't started yet, which is good news for me because I've still more news to go through before we can take a bit of a breather as we're trying to get all the news out of the way before we can react to the live draw, which should be starting in about maybe 5 minutes or so. You never know with these lot. It just changes. Yeah.
Before we go on, can people put in the chat who they want to get in the next round just to... So we can see.
Keep that going. Exactly. Yeah. Let us know in the chat as the draw is approaching us in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. Edmund Brack, this report is coming from, saying that Crystal Palace are set to miss out on Chelsea's Carney Chukwuemeka this summer. There's plenty of interest in Italy, including Napoli, and also I can't remember the source. I'll have to find it out, but Raheem Sterling has also been written off. It seemed like it was an option. I remember seeing it earlier on today. However, Palace will not be pursuing him. What do you think about this? Carney was a bit more realistic than Sterling, but he's still on relatively high wages. Is it a bit worrying that we might not go for another number 10? I mean, who's really left on the list?
Well, he's not number 10. He's an 8. He's not really a 10.
He's an 8, but if he was to join, you'd expect him to play in that 10 role.
I'm going to say it again with you. I don't want a right-footed number 10, even if he's, in this case, a number 8 who wants to be a number 10. Carney Chukwuemeka is a very good player, right? He is. I feel bad for him going from Villa to Chelsea because he didn't get a chance to play. He was injured. Good player, but I didn't understand that link again because I just think it will be a lot of money for a player who we don't necessarily need. The player needed from Chelsea before he became like Messi was Noni Madueke because he's left-footed. And he would have been the perfect Olise replacement, but they were never gonna sell him. So I didn't understand that. I don't understand the Chukwuemeka. Again, he's a very good player. He's just not a pure number 10, and he's right-footed. So I didn't get it. And again, this is the thing. Any player you get from Chelsea, you get that Chelsea tax, bro. They're gonna overcharge us because that's what they can do. So I just didn't any link to a Chelsea player right now. I'm not, again, Sterling, Chukwuemeka, Chalobah. I'm just not interested. My mindset is, they're Chelsea. Let them go to other clubs, or I don't really want them. And again, we've done this, man. Loftus-Cheek got better, left, went back. Gallagher got better, went back. I'm not into this unless we're going to buy him. And again, like I said, just not a big fan of any player from Chelsea. great club, blah blah blah, great players, 50 players on a roster. Playing him this weekend. I'm just not interested in Chelsea, bro. Not interested. Sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry. We spoke about Chelsea, people. That preview will be dropping tomorrow, so you can check it out. We give our honest opinions on that game, and some people are confident. In fact, someone said 3-1 Chelsea. No, 3-1 Palace, and they're sitting right here, and it wasn't me. So you can take a guess in terms of who that was. That said 3-1
That's a lie. It wasn't me.
Now moving on to the next bit of news.
It wasn't me. It was not me.
To the next bit of news, and that is from Mr. Dom Smith, and this is on Zaha. We've kind of knew this for a while. It's pretty obvious, but Wilfried Zaha's return to the Premier League has been all but ruled out due to tax reasons. Palace and Leicester have both discussed with a potential season-long loan deal for Zaha, but in both cases, a solution that worked for all parties could not be found. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I would have loved Zaha to come back as an option. I think it would have been a plus, but it's not going to happen. It's been ruled out. I thought maybe on deadline day something could be worked out,
right.
But if it's tax issues that can't still be solved, then I mean, what can you really do about it? Can you? I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. If you're telling me, Sterling or Zaha, Chukwuemeka or Zaha, we're taking Zaha because one, I like him a lot, and two, he knows Palace. But again, it's unfortunate. I feel really bad for him because we had this whole discussion about Galatasaray. He's not even playing anymore. It's like it's such a bad situation for him. The coach doesn't like him. He's not on the bench. They got knocked out of the. I know you're happy. You looked at Champions League yesterday.
Someone said. I remember someone. I don't remember who it was, but someone said, "Don't make that move." Yeah, someone did say that. I don't remember who it was.
Okay.
Someone said that he'll play 4 games in the Champions League. If he wants to play 4 games in the Champions League, because historically they're not a Champions League club, I got slated. They said, "Why are you hating on Zaha?"
That's fair, but I will say this, okay? He went there, and you're gonna put this down. He won the league, he won a bogus cup, and he played Champions League football. Those 3 things he could have never done at Palace. So you're saying shouldn't have gone. But for me,
because he wasn't involved heavily in winning the league. I mean, even the other day, I think he was on Twitch talking about his own fans throwing flares that could have hit his face.
I saw that.
That's the kind of thing. Like, it's not like he was there, like bragging on about his trophies and this and that.
Right.
Like, I think he's genuinely settled in Istanbul. He enjoys Istanbul. Istanbul's a nice city. I've been there like 15, 20 times because I'm from Turkey. But I don't know if he's. And I did say this is a massive move for him in his stage of his career. I think if you make the wrong move right now, your career, I've seen players, their careers have just gone downwards from making the wrong move. And right now, Zaha's rep is down there. Like, Palace and Leicester have been linked with him, but who else? No one else from Europe taking a gamble on him. Like, no one wants to take a gamble. I mean, it is what it is. It's sad, but he made that decision.
I get that, but like I said, he accomplished what he wanted. He wanted to play in Europe, and he wanted to win a title. You could say he didn't think he was very involved in that team up to way past Christmas, and then all of a sudden he wasn't playing. So, but again, he was going to the where should he have gone? And don't say Fenerbahce. Where should he have gone?
Fenerbahce, honestly. Okay, you should have went Fenerbahce.
Then fair enough.
You should have went Fenerbahce. I told him Galatasaray is not going to work out for him. You should have went Fenerbahce. You should have. That was his decision. Brian have signed a player from Fenerbahce, which kind of pissed me off, but it is what it is.
You lost to Cogliato. Oh, yeah, nice. Went to Brighton. Nice. That's your new second team now, Brighton, right? Because now you're Fenerbahce and Brighton.
Anyways, Lyon. Let's talk about Cherki. Apparently, according to sources over in France, pretty reliable sources, it seems like as well, over 175,000 followers, including David Ornstein. Lyon has given Cherki 3 choices. Find a new club that offer 15 million euros, extend several seasons at Lyon, or not play until the end of his contract. The player is now seriously considering the option of extending his contract at the football club, which might be a doubt to and be an upset to some Palace fans that have wanted him all along. But they've went up to him and said, "We're not playing games. Make your decision, Patrick."
That's harsh, but that's life. So he's gonna make a decision. I know he's a big fan.
Money. Some money.
That is, we're not gonna have a technical discussion today. Even I just noticed today there were 2 Lyon players linked to Everton. That's
okay,
big time stuff,
now from
that's sus.
From Lyon.
Well, Mangala is been as a link after they got O'Brien, but another
O'Brien's gone,
player.
and I think they're trying to play out on loan as well.
That's what I'm saying. That seems very. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into the text to talk today. It's not the right it's not the right time for that. But that's interesting. Listen, I would take Ryan Cherki for the right amount, but I'm not a massive fan. I watched him play a lot because once Texas bought Palace, I became a Lyon fan, and I watched a lot of games available over here. So I watched a lot of the games, and he's got great flair. But his end product wasn't there for me. Technically, he's brilliant. I mean, a great dribbler, but he just didn't have the end product for me that I needed. So if he came, great. But if we don't get him, it's not a big deal for me. But he has a decision to make, bro. Either sign, sit out, or find a club that's going to pay up. So
I'm just surprised that he's so persistent on not coming to the Prem. I find that baffling. I don't know. Maybe
that is strange.
I see it differently, but the fact that like normally players would be open to an opportunity like that, but he just does not want to come to the Prem. He's rejected Fulham, and now he's thinking of extending his contract when he might not even be playing as much. It's just weird. It's very weird, the situation with him. I would genuinely like to know. Maybe he just wants to stay in France. I don't even know. It was linked to Dortmund as well. But yeah, and breathe. We managed to get through every bit of news so far today. We are all up to date, and now we can relax a bit and talk about the Carabao Cup. Which, Patrick, we should have probably spoke about this off air, but is it possible for you to watch the draw on YouTube? So we're in sync, please. Hold on a second, if you can. Let's talk about the Carabao Cup. We done a match reaction yesterday. Okay,
it's right there. Do you see it? So yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
But it hasn't started yet. Has it started for you?
Huh?
It hasn't started. Has it started for you?
No, he hasn't started. Yeah, no, he hasn't started. He hasn't started. So it's good that we had news, because imagine jumping on at 10 o'clock and for half an hour with no news. Well, what on earth are we going to talk about Carabao Cup for half an hour? So thankfully it was like a busy show.
You're a master waffler. You could have done it. Trust me. I've seen you waffle.
I probably could have, you know. Yeah, I probably could have. I've had solid streams where I've had like 2 bits of news, and I've been here like talking for an hour.
You're good. You're very good. You're very good. You can talk. You can talk.
Yeah, 100%. I could have done it in the chat.
Yeah.
Palace. So let's start off with the number. We're number 10. And there's a few twists to this draw, such as it being seeded with Champions League, well, teams in Europe not being able to face each other. What do you think about that? It's a bit like they just want to keep the top teams there.
Yeah, I was hoping that, we'd see like Man City versus Man United early and Liverpool versus Arsenal early like this round. But it does make sense. It dampens my hope of winning the cup now, because if the big club is still in the draw by the quarterfinals, it becomes that much harder. You know what I mean? Because I really thought that we talked about before. Usually, not every one of them, but a lot of them play weakened teams because they got other things to worry about. But eventually, at the end, you're going to have a Man City or Liverpool or Man United. They're always going to end up winning it, or Chelsea. Literally, every time it ends up being, you can get Newcastle in the final. It doesn't matter. Man United are going to win it. You can get whomever, Southampton in the final, but no man, Liverpool will beat them. You know what I mean? So it ends up being a top 4 or 5 side winning it. But the seeding part really makes it more difficult for someone to come out of the blue and win it. But I noticed today, for instance, West Ham played a really strong side. Newcastle played today, played a very strong side. So those under top 6 sides that they're playing, that they're looking to get through the early rounds. So I think it's gonna be much harder. And we obviously played a full strength side yesterday, or near enough. So it'll be interesting. But at the seeding part, it kind of makes sense, because that whole new Champions League, the format's going to make it. They're gonna have a lot of matches to play, so we'll see.
So yeah, the actual fixtures will be played week commencing either the 16th or the 23rd of September. I guess that depends on the European competitions, potentially, if we do face one of the big sides, and what week they're playing Europe, what week they're not. So our fixture, it'll be after the Leicester game or after Man United, depending on when it is scheduled. Just out of curiosity, Patrick, I haven't asked you this, but when are you actually going back to the States?
So I'm going to be there for the Leicester and Man United games. I'm going back on the Monday, so the game needs to be between the Leicester game and Man United game.
Do you reckon? I think they'll do it between the Leicester and the Man United game if the team's not in the European competition. I think that's what will be the case. So
I need Leyton Orient, Wimbledon, or Barrow or someone like that at home. I need someone that's not in Europe, clearly, right? Because if it's Arsenal,
Yeah. Someone that's not in Europe. Well, that's the ideal scenario, anyways. I think the draw is about to start. Here we go.
Yes.
They're showing it on the screen as well. With,
oh wow!
you know,
Yeah, look at this. You see how it looks. It says
So
UCL
round 2
UEL team
winners
versus round 2 winner. Yeah.
Champions League or Europa League team. So we don't want to face the big teams. Palace will be ball number 10. The teams. I mean, let's see who's actually officially qualified now, because the games will play today as well, with Forest being knocked out. Who's here? Well, I can look at the fixtures and the results of them. Today, West Ham went through, so West Ham are still in the Carabao Cup. Who else have we got? We've got West Ham. We've got Newcastle United, Wycombe Wanderers. Out of them, Wycombe Wanderers is winning for me. Brentford, Southampton, AFC Wimbledon. I'm taking probably AFC Wimbledon over Wycombe Wanderers, personally. I think so, right? And you got Wolves, and then yesterday, of course, we won our game. You had QPR, Bolton, Walsall, Watford, Fulham. So there's a lot of teams. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, Fleetwood Town. I mean, for this draw to go wrong, it would just be our luck. Everton are through, Coventry City are through, Blackpool, Barrow, Barnsley. I mean, there's quite a few teams that, you know, I would like us to face at home. But for you, Patrick, any teams in particular?
Right there, Mitch said it. Orient would be great. Perfect. The London club, South London club. So home away, Orient.
Okay,
home
the draw's
away,
starting.
Wimbledon. Okay.
We'll go back to the chat after the draw, so there's no spoilers. Ball number 16. Who's Liverpool? Oh, not Palace. Not Palace, please. Not like this. Liverpool away from home. Who's going to be facing them? Oh, don't do this. On my days. 31. Liverpool's already gone. Liverpool, West Ham. You got Premier League tie.
Love that.
You got Premier League tie already.
Enjoy that one. That one.
That's good. That's good. Perfect. Liverpool versus West Ham. So 2 Premier League teams already facing each other. One of the big teams out. 17. So not Palace. Manchester City. Please. 25. We dodged them.
No,
they're facing Watford. Typical.
Ooh. Yeah,
typical. But City are gone.
Easy draw for City all the time, every year.
City are gone as well. Liverpool, West Ham, that's the big one right now. Number 10, please. Well, I think it's all the big teams. I think it's all the big teams right now for the draw. Arsenal. Not Arsenal. At home. They're playing at home. Oh, my days. Number 6 is
not us.
Bolton. They got Bolton at home. Arsenal versus Bolton. At least we're not facing Arsenal. Next round, we'll take those as well.
We've dodged Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. That's pretty good.
I guess that's the positives from this draw, because there's all the big teams getting out first. Manchester United. Not United away from home, which I believe we faced last year, which it isn't, because they're facing Barnsley. They're facing Barnsley at home.
All right, bro. We're getting lucky, bro.
Yeah. Still 2 more teams, I think. I've seen 3 more balls.
Villa and someone, right? Villa, who else?
Villa is included there as well.
Chelsea, maybe not. Chelsea's in there.
First of all, now I think it's their away team. Well, the unseeded of 30. Wycombe. Wycombe will face one of the big sides, so Wycombe's out of the draw.
Yes, exactly. They're
at home.
Okay.
And they are facing number 2, Aston Villa. Solid tie for Wycombe. Solid tie for Wycombe. And then hopefully not number 10, because that means we still face another big side. So not number 10. Number 9, we dodged it. We dodged it again. That's Coventry City, who are doing well in the championship. They are facing, I think, the last big side that's left, which is 23, Tottenham. So we dodged all the big teams. We dodged all the big teams. Now we need a home tie. We need a home tie. All the big sides are gone. All the sides that's playing in Europe gone, which is good. Liverpool, West Ham, that's the key one that's sticking out right now. Now I need a number 10.
That worked out well, D. That worked out really well so far, yeah.
Yeah. 24, Walsall. So this will be away from home. Who's
Birmingham? I'll take them. I'll take that game if it's the week when I'm there.
No. Well, it won't be us. They're facing Leicester City. Walsall versus Leicester, which keep an eye out for that, because Leicester, of course, that's the game after our game. So let's see if they go with strong lineup against Walsall. we've got number 28. So Brentford, Premier League team, who are they facing at home? Number 15 is Leyton Orient. So we've got London tie there.
Oh, no, a London derby.
Yeah,
but not the
Leyton
one I
Orient is
wanted.
gone. Leyton Orient is gone. Give us
Need a
number
home
10,
tie now,
number
bro.
5. That Blackpool.
Need a home tie.
Blackpool. That's too far. Blackpool at home will be facing 21 is Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
So there's still a chance of a home tie. Let's see. Number 10. Number 10.
Come on.
19. Oh, I thought it was a 10 for a second from looking for an outside. Preston
North
will be at home facing.
That's too far to travel.
13. We won't be traveling there. In fact, Fulham will be traveling to Preston. Let's see. Still, Palace were waiting.
10. Just give me a home.
11. Oh, my days.
Everton.
Oh, not Everton away from home.
Don't want to play them.
Oh,
No,
it's going to happen, isn't it?
No, don't do it.
Okay. Whew. We dodged that. Southampton. So 2 Premier League teams. Another Premier League tie. There. Number 10.
Come on, Dawson.
20. QPR, which is not bad.
That's local.
It'll be at
Take
home.
that. I'll take that.
You take that.
West London versus South.
Yep. And we've got QPR.
Yeah, I can go.
Brilliant.
QPR. Lost. Oh, God loves me.
QPR away from home in the
That is brilliant.
round.
London tie.
Yep.
Oh,
London
my
tie.
God. Brilliant.
Yes. How are we feeling, people? How are we feeling?
More importantly,
in
D,
chat.
back up the
W's,
next road
L's.
trip. Back up the
Road
next
trip to
road
QPR
trip.
to West London. Road trip to
Come
QPR.
on.
So, Patrick, you're happy
that's
about that?
brilliant.
You're happy about that?
I'm ecstatic.
Let's see who else. Brighton.
my
Who are
niece
Brighton
texting me.
facing?
I don't care anymore.
Brighton are facing at home. They'll be facing Wolves. Premier League tie again. Another Premier League tie. Brighton versus Wolves. Chat. I'm seeing a lot of yeses. QPR away from home. In terms of the league form, I'll be looking at that as well. I'll take that. QPR. Colin saying Eze return. Yeah, return of Eze.
Oh, that's right. Brilliant. Oh, nice one.
That's QPR away. Love it. Happy for Patrick, says Bollocks. Let's
Thank
go.
you.
I like Loftus Road.
Brilliant.
I haven't actually been Loftus Road before.
Me either. I've never been either, so I can't wait. Hopefully it's that week that I'm there. But that is brilliant. Oh, man.
Delighted for Patrick.
Love that one.
Wimbledon's got Newcastle at home. That's a good draw as well. The Eze derby, brilliant. Mitch saying not as excited about QPR since we had a preseason game recently, so I've been to the ground. Look,
okay. Understood.
If we're looking at it in terms of the strength of the opponent, in terms of staying in London, of course it would have been nice to face QPR at home, but away from home is not far off. And how have they actually started the season? I want to actually check out on that.
No idea. I have no idea. Let's do that now.
So QPR start of the season. They are in the championship, of course. They are currently 19th, 2 points in 3 games. They have faced, of course, they beat Luton on penalties in the second round. They drew a 1-1 with, that is crazy. They drew 1-1 with, what do you call it? Wayne Rooney's Plymouth.
Right.
But they faced a side that had 2 red cards. And they drew 1-1 with them. And then they also faced Sheffield United, which was a 2-2 draw. And they got a red card in that game. I mean, 2 relatively strong opponents, especially with Sheffield United this season. So they got 2 draws in 3 games. And in terms of the fixture list, let's see who they've got coming up. So they've got Luton in the league, which is funny because they're just facing them in the cup. Friday. And then they got Sheffield Wednesday on the 14th. That's away from home. And then they got Millwall at home on the 21st September. Week commencing the 16th, which will be for them Sheffield Wednesday before our game. Overall, out of 10, what are we giving it?
Me personally, that's a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's a championship side, not any better than the one we just beat. They're not any better than Norwich. They're very similar. And it's a London derby, and it's in London. The only thing I'm praying for is that happens to be the week that I'm there. But Loftus Road, I mean, that is brilliant. I mean, I couldn't ask for, I mean, I'm just going to say seriously, thank you football gods, because it could have been anybody.
I mean,
and we avoided all the top sides. So again, exactly, we didn't get any big sides. So it's brilliant. I mean, I think it's a great draw. You can't listen. There absolutely is no way you could not like that draw. QPR, even if it's away, if you can't beat QPR, then obviously you don't deserve to win to advance in the cup. But no, and there's some nice, tasty Premier League ones where someone's gonna get knocked out. So, but who cares?
Yeah, 2 Premier League ties. I think Brighton got Wolves, Liverpool got West Ham. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. By the way, there's over 300 people watching us live right now. So if you haven't already done so, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to Not Miss Out Future Palace content. We've got loads of content coming along the way, especially on Friday night.
Chelsea got Barrow. I didn't even realize that. Really? I didn't pay attention after QPR. I lost my head.
And also, if you haven't already done so, if you're enjoying the stream, please hit the like button. It takes a second of your time. Let's see if we can hit 200 likes. But yeah, so in terms of the full draw, let's quickly, before we wrap up, look at some of the other fixtures. Now that the whole whole draw.
I love it. I'm so happy. I can't tell you, D. I'm so happy. That's brilliant. That came out so well.
It is good. It is good. So, damn, they haven't still posted the graphic just yet. But I mean, there are some big ties there. There are some big ties. And Lawless is crying. Lawless is crying.
That's funny.
They're rigging the competition for their favorites. The competition lost any last shred of credibility it had. To me, my friend, it sounds like you already know what's happening. You know that defeat is coming. So yeah, you're just worried about that. But yeah, I do. Jokes aside, I do understand what he means.
He sounds shook. He sounds shook.
Yeah. Also, just quick mention. I know we've done the news element, but Archie Brown, a bid from Fenerbahce, funny enough, has been rejected. 8 million plus 2 million euros in add-on, so 10 million in terms of the asking price. It's been rejected, the 10 million package. Apparently, they are looking for 12 million euros, which is relatively cheap. If I'm Palace, I might be knocking on as well.
So here's my question, D. Would you rather he go to Fenerbahce or to Crystal Palace? Honestly.
Well, Fenerbahce probably need him more than Palace. But I think we're more linked to Gossens anyways. Archie Brown's been quiet in that aspect.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because they happen to be the two teams your favorite team. It's kind of interesting that the same player linked to, so I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah. Look, people, we're going to wrap up here. Thanks to every single one of you that's joined us. Hopefully we'll be back here for the 4th round Carabao Cup draw live reaction. That's what we want. Patrick's happy. I'm happy. We're all happy in the chat. QPR away from home. Lacroix, still agreed. Johnstone going. It's going to be a busy few days, but we will be here covering it all. Tomorrow, match preview, 5 p.m. UK time. Check it out, as well as the opposition preview dropping 5 p.m. Friday as well. That's it from us two. And until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.